that you want to use it for, but because you want to get much more money, you have to get what you have, put it out there, and then you will see prosperity. The same applies to success. Time is an investment. So leaving your bed in such a cold day, you walk into those rains, and of course, regardless, definitely get your basics. For example, those clothes that you need, on a cold weather. In some countries, unlike in Uganda, there is no excuse, regardless of the weather. You gotta be prepared all the time. You need to put on, you need to get yourself equipped with the required weather fashion. With that fashion, if it's winter, then you need to put on the jackets. It's a rainy day, you should make sure that your umbrella is right there, because remember, you are on a journey to success. You're trying to make sure that nothing comes your way. You're trying to beat everything. So it is something that you really need to put into consideration. And don't forget, channel 394 on Go TV and channel 372 on DSTV, as you will be in position to get us at whatever part of the region you will be at, and I mean the East African region. Isn't that amazing? And our YouTube, that's SMART24 TV Live, you can catch us at whatever part of the globe you will be at, as we deliver to you the latest business information to ensure that you make the right and appropriate decisions at large. Right. Now, at this particular time, I welcome you to this segment of the SMB News Breaker as we go through the day's previous news stories, definitely those that are making headlines into the world of business. And to kick off this hour, we start with the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and of course, which kicked off yesterday. And this time around, we are looking at celebrating those entrepreneurs that have been able to sustain their businesses for a very long time, but also looking at the aspect of acquiring trainings through different forums. Let's have the details of this report.
The Global Entrepreneurship Week will unite nearly all of the world's countries to support entrepreneurs and inspire people to establish businesses and create new, more effective ways to do tasks. Following the pandemic and its effects, Global Entrepreneurship Week 2022 is also a call to action for societies to be resilient and work together to harness the potential of fresh thinking and innovation for the good of all. Millions of business owners, investors, legislators, academicians, educators, entrepreneurship support organizations, and other interested parties have participated.
Really, what we do during this week is to celebrate what you would say the unacknowledged hero, the entrepreneur who has kept 5 jobs alive, the entrepreneur who has kept supplying even amidst increasing costs. That is the entrepreneur who we celebrate. Why do we celebrate this entrepreneur? Because of the critical role that entrepreneur plays in the economy. So this week we really celebrate entrepreneurs. We know we celebrate laborers, we celebrate a number of other people, but this week is the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and we celebrate you, the entrepreneurs. We thank you for keeping going, especially given the last 3 years, which have been tough years, with challenge after challenge, COVID, inflation, a number of challenges have come through. But we are here to say, you, the entrepreneur, you are the hero, and we are celebrating you this week.
A shortage of money and other related economic difficulties have forced up to 55% of Ugandans who started enterprises in the last 5 years to close with them. With inflation currently at 10.7%, according to a recent WBOS analysis, business viability in Uganda is under severe threat, undermining sustainability targets set in place. This necessitates effective organization of the many manufacturing factors.
But like any other businessman or woman who would love to survive or would make sure that they keep afloat in the current difficult situations, it is always very, very important for us to do internal audits in our respective businesses to understand better the presenting challenges so that we can plan amicably well for solutions that can enable us to navigate through the current difficult times. Otherwise, without such interventions, we may find it so difficult to push businesses.
The growth and stability of Uganda's economy has been severely hampered by the lack of access to business education and training. Therefore, in order to help aspiring businesses to acquire stability in these challenging economic times, business integrations has been promoted exploited as a means of sharing losses and gains along the knowledge transfer.
Try to attempt. But it's very important that we try out to get people who can help us out. We have experts within different organizations. Today we have had a training organized by Enterprise Uganda. Such forums, such platforms help us to build hope within struggling entrepreneurs. Such forums help us to share problems, because I am one person who believes that African business problems should be solved using African approaches. So
Global Entrepreneurship Week was established in 2008 because of the significance of entrepreneurship to human happiness and global economic growth. To assure innovation, problem solving, and effective communication, one needs 3 key skills, that is, flexibility, persistence, and leadership.
Together with other business support organizations, joined the rest of the world celebrate the Global Entrepreneurship Week, and of course aim at recognizing the possible solutions that's for concurrent challenges which are hindering the performance of the business sector in the country. And of course, the gross fixed capital formation of entrepreneurship contribution to GDP in Uganda was reported at 16.14%. That is in 2021, and that's according to the World Bank collection of development indicators. So this is quite a very an important initiative, as we see the different entrepreneurs in Uganda coming up together to celebrate the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Remember, this is a day that was initiated, that was in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Probably I got my figures right, but I'll go and cross-check in case of any error. I'll be letting you know the exact year, but it's not very long time ago, and this was really intended to celebrate the entrepreneurs that really work out so hard to ensure that they stand amidst the hard current conditions. You see, when you look at a report that was released regarding business collapse in Uganda, that 60% of the businesses of course are closing, and of course this is due to various reasons, like the current economic climate. As you can see that recently the Uganda Bureau of Statistics actually released the inflation, the current inflation rate for that is the month of October. Yes, October, and it was at 10.7% as compared to the previous month, which was 10%. And if you are to look at that gradual in the last 5 months, there has always been an increase in the inflation rate. And of course, another factor that has been really causing quite so many tensions in the business community was the aspect of the increment of the central bank rate. And now we're looking at 10 basis points, and the reason why this is so is because the central bank is trying to control the rate of inflation, and their expectations that once that is put into place, it could be controlled, but it seems to be getting a little bit much more worse, and the prices seem to be increasing much even more because there are other factors which are driving this economy, despite the current, like the fuel prices, like you see that aspect. So when you look at all these dilemma happening in the business world in Uganda, there is really a need to embrace entrepreneurs, really to support these entrepreneurs, because they just quite can't handle it. And looking at that, we see the private sector's involvement, definitely, because this is where we see the majority of the entrepreneurs taking part, and these are the small and intermediary enterprises. So you can see they're just going through quite that amount of money, and I mean that kind of mess, as they're spending quite lots and big lots of amounts of money, to acquire loans. And another disadvantage is that some of these entrepreneurs, we are looking at the SMEs, use imports as their raw materials. They use imports as raw materials to produce what they produce, and you see that's what we call what comes in like imported inflation of some kind of sort. So you get to understand how really serious this matter is. So at the end of the day, they will charge you high prices, and this is accompanied with an increased bank rate. That means the rate at which the commercial banks are lending out is a little bit high, and once it's high, it definitely means the business has to recover back that amount of money to clear back that loan because it's at high percentage rate. So one of the ways the business will do that is definitely to increase the price of the commodity that is being delivered. So that means we shall have the prices increasing and the inflation increasing and what so many. So and at the end of the day, once that happens, the purchasing power declines of the customers, of the consumers, and at the end of the day, it comes back to the entrepreneur. So they really need quite a lot of support regarding that matter. But of course, besides that, among the topics that, among the issues that were discussed on this particular day, yesterday, when of course the week started off, were matters regarding, of course, entrepreneurs joining forums together, and these forums provide that reliable education. Of course, looking at the certain disciplines, and they talked about the aspect of internal auditing and that like a discipline that should be adapted by the local entrepreneurs. That's if they are to really run a business smoothly in the country. And of course, that's a great discipline that should be adapted. And of course, looking at forums, training forums, equipping the different entrepreneurs with the skills to see that they can actually make it up to this industry like how they ought to, getting to understand the challenges that they're going through. So literally, the Global Entrepreneurship Week is quite a great lesson, and of course to the different entrepreneurs. Like as we read the statistics here, seeing that when according to the World Bank collection of development indicators, that the gross fixed capital formation of entrepreneurship contribution to Uganda's gross domestic product is reported at 16.14. That, and now we are looking at the results of 2021. Now, of course, 2022 is here to also be released. That will be in Jan next year. And we shall get to understand what has been the contribution. Has there been a decline? Has there been a reduction? That and more shall be finding out in the coming reports. But you can see reported at 16.41%. So what does that figure mean to the entrepreneurship sector in Uganda? What does it mean to the private sector in Uganda to ensure that maybe probably it can it be increased on or it will be reduced? So it all comes back with quite lots and lots of questions regarding that. And embracing the entrepreneurship week is something very, very key regarding Uganda's growth and development. All right, now away from that, we head to the International Civil Aviation Organization Authentic Travel Documents, as we see that International Civil Aviation held its first meeting to discuss matters related to travel and electronic documents across the world. Let's have the details.
The Ugandan East African e-passport was introduced by the Ugandan government in 2018. Following that, there was a 2-year transitional period to enable for the phase-out of the East African and international machine-readable passports. The head of International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, which has 88 members, stated that the meeting is being held to discuss issues with the legitimacy of documents in relation to simplifying air transport and border-to-border travel.
Even if a passport is falsified, is faked, there is an electronic security that we provide, because there's a link with the certificate in our central database that cannot be faked. So, and that's why we are happy that we have now 88 member states who have joined the PKD, and to exchange the certificates that are needed to make the passports secure.
Passports can easily be validated through public registry, and passengers spend less time reviewing their documents now than they did when Uganda was still using machine-readable passports.
Well, given this opportunity to host it, this is very important because verification of travel documents is a very key factor. It helps do away with fake, falsified documents. It makes it possible to verify and certify all travel documents of all travelers.
However, since the new passports were introduced, the public has complained about the increased fees, but the spokesperson of Internal Affairs claims that Ugandan passport is still the least expensive in the region, because a Burundian passport now costs $60. He also warned Ugandans about counterfeit passport producers, warning that such documents will not be authentic.
Originally, we had the old passport. The old passport did not have a lot of security features. It was costing about 120,000. This new particular passport, electronic one, costs 250, and ideally is the lowest in the region. When you look at countries like Burundi, countries like Kenya, they are costing theirs a little higher. The reason why this passport must cost a little higher is because of the fact, why now? Why do we invite the ICAO board here at this material time? Is because of the fact that fraudsters have taken the game a notch higher. What they are doing now on Nasa Road, on Nkrumah Road, and all other roads in Kampala is that they are actually producing a very beautiful document which you cannot doubt. But that beautiful document they are producing cannot have the key to open in the depository of the ICAO PKD directory. So ours is not about the beauty of the document that comes out, it is about the security of the document that comes out. So
Well, East African electronic passports. All right, now away from that, let's head to matters now regarding financing for the filming industry, as we see that it has a potential to transform this country's gross domestic product and also create a number of employment opportunities to various unemployed youths. Let's have this report.
The Audio and Visual Content Plan 2020-2025 intends to promote the expansion of local content, attract and grow audiences, improve skills, and draw investment into the industry. For the local film industry, capacity building initiatives are implemented that concentrate on skill development in order to give them the tools they need to compete on the domestic and international markets.
We got feedback from the initial judges that showed us skills, production, our works were lacking. So we started a program where we would do master classes for small groups in sound, script writing, voice, the different aspects of film. And this has been going on for over the years.
We aim at stimulating growth of local content, attracting and building audiences, skills development, quality improvement, and attracting investment in this audio-visual sector. And as part of our strategy, the Commission has undertaken capacity building programs focusing on skill development for the local film industry, the content creators, so as to empower them to compete effectively in the local and the international markets. So this year, in partnership with the Cine Arts Academy in the USA, we carried out training programs for filmmakers in different fields in the film production.
According to recent research by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the total contribution of the local culture and creative industries to the country's GDP is estimated to be at 3.5%, with film contributing more than the majority of the other subsectors. According to experts, the Ugandan film and audiovisual business directly and indirectly employs a large number of Ugandans. This suggests that the industry has developed since many years ago.
The film industry in Uganda is budding. We are seeing it has grown leaps and bounds from the 2013 that we saw to today. This year, as you're all aware, Uganda has its first entry to the Oscars. We used to hear the Oscars and used to think it's for other countries. We moved, we had entries in Africa, and we used to think the Nigerians are going to beat us. But we saw that our own are actually competing very well in the African awards as well, coming back with actual awards being given to them. Now we have gone further. What we see as Uganda, or as Uganda Communications Commission, is an opportunity for our people. We can make money also as from film.
Uganda also continues to lose huge revenues due to lack of proper film structures, notably lack of a rebate system, as foreign productions of local stories have been moved to other countries. However, with this training, the story is about to change.
These classes, it's our opportunity now to show what we have learned. It's not good for us to say, I was the best in this class, or we did this, or this is how long we studied, but what is going to come out of us. We also want to break the barriers and want movies from Uganda to be talked about elsewhere, like we are talking about movies in Nigeria, in Kenya, and other neighboring countries. This time it is Uganda's turn. We've been operating as amateurs without principles. We don't know whatever we are doing, whether they were right or wrong. But during these classes, we knew that we were just gambling. We were working as gamblers. But the training has made us very, very professional, and we are looking forward for excellence in our movies.
With its actors and actresses participating, Uganda has also acted as a location for a few significant international films. Notable examples include The Last King of Scotland in 2006. Local production contributed to the 2016 Disney film Queen of Katwe, starring Lupita Nyong'o. The first movie from Uganda to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Feature Film in 2019 was Connie, Order from Above.
That's financing for the film industry in Uganda, as we see there is potential growth, and of course there is hope that this industry will be really on top regarding, of course, time to come. And we are looking at competing on the African continent and also being the best at the East African region. And of course, we see that in partnership with the Creative Arts Academy in the USA. That's the Sign Arts Academy. Of course, the different Ugandans are being trained into this industry to understand how best, of course, they can really come out with certain matters, how best they can put up that quality that is needed, that can really effectively compete on the international market and be able to earn some good revenue. That's for the participants into that particular industry. So you can see how very relevant it is, and there is, of course, a future. The future is bright because we have the people that have the passion to run this industry with, of course, with the best. Let me say that, of course, like with the best of the production being put out there. But all that is needed is that extra support, to ensure that they reach that desired dream, and of course they will be in position to fulfill, to improve their livelihood, and also at the same time to improve the livelihoods of the people around them. Because Uganda will have quite a lot of stories that can be put out there, and the only limitation has been that what do we put out there? What is the quality that we put out there that really speaks volumes regarding that? But the only challenge was that the participants just needed a little bit of a training to put out, to deliver what they have to deliver efficiently, to ensure that it comes with that required standard. So such initiatives are very key. Financing, the only way, but the talent is already there, and all that is needed is facilitation. And the participants seem to be ready to really go all the way to pursue this. All right, we come to the end of the SMB News Recap this morning as we wind up with a report, and this time around we are looking at traffic. How is traffic really influencing the business environment, and how best can it be managed that way? The details.
An article that analyzes data from a survey of 291 drivers to look into the causes and costs of Kampala's traffic jams shows the causes including congested roads, unruly drivers, inadequate urban design, little parking, and the concentration of the majority of the commercial and social activity. With money from Japanese International Cooperation Agency, about $18 million, approximately 67 billion shillings, will be invested in the project. This is under a new design that is supposed to cover regionally, that is to say the Kampala metropolitan area, with a lot of the project to enhance traffic flow in the city.
When we come to sustainable designs, we have our overall plan, the master plan for Kampala. It's under revision right now with support from the JICA. So we are revising the master plan to meet the needs and the demands of not just the people today, but those in the future. And in there, it integrates all sectors. And this is not only going to be done for Kampala alone, we are having it done for the greater Kampala metropolitan area. So soon.
Additionally, efforts are being made to modernize the train and the bus systems, control border, and simplify the drainage systems.
I'll start with the most troublesome one, which is the border. We are trying to get that regularized and streamlined within the system. But also, we are also at a very good stage of ushering in a bus rapid transit system in Kampala. Consultant is already on board to provide the service, that is Metu. So we soon will be going on to earmark the bus lanes. We come to transport, it's highly linked to the drainage system, and also trying to earmark the areas of the drainages for NMT. Like for example, you can cycle from the lakefront, wherever it is, Bugolobi or Muyenga, through the Nachivubo into the city. So we have all these ideas that are comprehensive.
Road safety and the caliber of automobiles, which are assumed to be so numerous and unnecessary on the road, are the two main focuses of this drive while discussing transportation.
We are so silent about the state of the vehicles and motorcycles on the road. I think there is a lot and urgent need. He's the only one who tried to bring it up. There is need for us not to underestimate what is on our roads. We have lots of vehicles in this country, and you wonder why some of them are even in this country. They are supposed to be obsolete and written off completely.
The article suggests a range of mitigation measures, including the construction of flyovers, enhancing the standard of other routes, and enhancing the traffic control operations. Congestion pricing is thought to have the most significant impact on traffic congestion. The article also suggests conducting an economic analysis of all policy options and ranking them according to their productivity and return on investment. It further urges collaboration and coordination among the agencies in charge of traffic control in the city and the participation of all relevant stakeholders.
Improving the traffic flow in the city, as we see that there is, in a way, the traffic affects, and of course the working population, and also not only that, we look at also the business community when it comes to delivering certain services, or you have to deliver certain product to a certain place, but you're a little bit hindered due to the traffic jam. So that really creates quite a great dilemma in the city right there. But of course, the authorities are trying to revise the best ways, the possible solutions to ensure that that challenge is really sorted. That's with immediate effect regarding that matter. So we can see right there, and of course the possible solutions were the aspect of flyovers right there, putting so many other factors into place to ensure that that is sorted. It's exactly 33 minutes past the hour 7 a.m. and we've come to the end of the SMB News Recap this morning. And this particular time, let's get into a short commercial break. And definitely we shall return with more updates. Then we shall get straight to the SMB International News, as quite as anticipated right there regarding that report. And then wind up the hour with the business tips and quotes. Stick around. Good morning.